The next part to complete is the statement from yourself, from the tutor, and the things that have to go in this are the grounds on which you suspect the academic misconduct and the evidence that's based on. The grounds can be that, for example, the work is of a higher level of language than you think that the student is capable of. Although one type of evidence is your own academic judgment, so you can make that judgment, but we do need to have additional evidence, which is the student's writing produced under timed conditions. The obvious place for this is in the Language for Study module, where they do a timed writing or an actual writing exam. So you can find out who the Language for Study tutor is and ask them to provide a copy of the student's writing. Other evidence is perhaps more clear-cut, which is a Turnitin report, which may show a high similarity. But we would ask that you attach the Turnitin report even if it doesn't show a very high similarity, because it can be useful just to know that the tutor has looked at that. So if you can provide that as well. The second part then, after you have filled out that first part and got the evidence, you can take that to the a senior tutor or a program leader and have a discussion with them. They will decide whether it is a potential case of academic misconduct. If it isn't, they'll explain to you why. But if it is, you'll have a discussion then about the type of penalty that you may wish to apply. These are you are at this stage suggesting a penalty. You're not going to apply this penalty. That will be decided by the academic misconduct panel. But the penalties, as you can see, range from a warning with no penalty to also a requirement that the student correct the referencing in order to receive a mark for the assessment, and it can be right down to the student receiving 100% penalty, so getting 0 for the piece of work. Pages 3 and 4, you don't need to complete them, but if you can print those off and give them in with the evidence, then it means that we have the full form that can go through the process with the student's work. So what happens next? The form then is submitted to academic services by the program leader or the senior tutor. The student is notified by academic services that there is an academic misconduct case in connection with one of the pieces of work. The students at that same time are invited to the academic misconduct panel, where they can respond to this case. And then the academic misconduct panel meets and takes into account what the student has said, takes into account the evidence that has been presented by the tutor, and then makes a final decision about whether there has been a case of academic misconduct or not. The students are informed of the decision by academic services, and the mark is adjusted by academic services if a penalty has been applied. So just to summarise then, if you suspect an academic misconduct case, then complete an academic misconduct form, attach the evidence, and take it to the senior tutor or program leader. So thank you very much for listening. I hope that has been useful. There is a link to a short Google Forms survey in the email that you were sent. So I'd be grateful if you could complete that. It also gives you the opportunity to ask any further questions that you might have or any need for clarification.